Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Guys, so it's still the journey with Amara. I'm scared to come because today is story time. Yeah, today is story time. So I'm going to be telling you guys a story on how I grew up, my neighborhood, growing up, everything growing up, about me. I'm going to tell you guys. So this is story time. But before I do that, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back to watch this video. And if you're just discovering this channel, please do well to subscribe. Yes, and turn on the post notification bell to watch my amazing videos because I'm an amazing person. And everyone that subscribes to my channel is amazing, no doubt. Yeah. Okay, so before I start this video, finally, I just want to give a shout out to my classmate Juliet. Shout out to you. You might wonder why I'm giving you this shout out. I'm just giving you a shout out for following my YouTube channel, and you just told me, oh, I saw your YouTube channel, oh, I'm a subscriber, I like your videos. I felt really fulfilled. So I just want you guys to tell me when you like my videos or videos you would want me to do, kind of videos you want me to do. I'm doing this for you guys, so shout out to her. So by the way, let's just get into this video. Okay guys, so talking about my child, this of course you have to stay comfortable to just you guys about this. So, talking about my childhood. Okay, so sometime years ago in a city in Enugu, Nigeria, there was the birth of a little beautiful girl occurred. Yeah, so in some years back in Enugu, Nigeria, on the 29th of July, a beautiful girl was born in University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital, UNTH, at about 11 p.m. on a Thursday. Okay, so it was on the Thursday about 11 p.m. That's when my mommy told me. Okay, so the birth of this little girl was, I wouldn't say tragic. I won't call it tragic, but it had a lot around her birth. So before this little girl was born, her grandmother, that's her mother's father, died. I think a few months before she was born. Okay, so I will come back to that along my story. So yes, so during the birth of this little girl, her mother's had labor complications and all that. It was difficult to push her out, so her father was asked to go and get a drug. Okay, so on his way to getting the drug, which was requested, he met an old woman on the road. Okay, and the old woman begged for a lift, and her father, my father, gave this old woman a lift. And on their way to going to maybe help drug the woman along, the woman is going to a location along where he's going to look for the drug. So the woman then turned and asked him what was the problem, why he was so uneasy. And for some reason he told the woman that his wife was under labor and it seemed like they were losing her, and they asked him to go and get those drugs. The woman just turned and said that he should not worry, that before he gets back to the place that his wife would deliver safely. He was just like, thank you, okay, no problem, and dropped the woman off. Okay, so at my father's arrival back to the hospital, I was already born, safely delivered, on the 29th of July. Yeah, so that was the little bit of story behind my birth. Okay, so this little girl was a baby given to them by God, or this baby was given by God to the family of Dr. and Mrs. G.O.H. as their fifth child and second daughter. So I am the fifth child and second daughter of my family. Yeah. So as at the time when all this were happening, the family lived in orthopedic hospital Enugu, the doctor's quarters in the orthopedic hospital Enugu. Okay. So let me say this whole story now more personalized. So yeah, as of the time then, my family lived at National Orthopedic Hospital Enugu as of that time, and things were blossomed for my family. According to my parents, things were not as difficult because my dad wasn't from a wealthy home, so he really had to struggle after to make things as beautiful and as blossoming as it is for us right now. So as of that time, he was already getting his hands and he was already being stable. I think when I was born, he was already a consultant surgeon in National Orthopedic Hospital. So things were good. And we had so we the last children in my family, they normally tell us that when they gave birth to us when things were good. You understand? So they gave birth to me when things were good for my father. He had his he had started making money. You understand? So yeah, I was born at that time. Growing up, then coming to my naming, my name is Norma. Okay, so remember I told you guys in the beginning of the story that my grandmother, my father's mother, died few months before I was born, and according to my parents, my dad was very close to his mother. My dad was the last born, was very close. The mother meant the whole world to him. So and my dad said that when I was delivered, I looked so much like his mom. Like before I started growing, I'm looking like my own mom. And when I was delivered, I looked like his mom. So he named me Norma. He calls me named Dimma, my good mother. You understand? So he could name me Norma. Norma also meaning good mother. And yeah, that was the whole story behind my naming. And then my mom named me Makochuku. I should embrace God because I feel like she named me Makochuku because of the whole scenario around giving birth to me. And I just want to say a little bit story. This is not really part of my childhood, but I just really want to chip it in because one day when the story came up again, my mom loves telling us about stories, and even the one she has told us before, she keep telling us. So I think few weeks back, earlier January, we're talking about our old childbirth situations and complications and people that had complications when they were about to be giving birth to and all. And my mom recapped the scenario my dad told her, and I stopped and I said to my dad, Daddy, have you ever thought who that old woman that you met on the road and gave a lift to is? And he doesn't understand. And I said, Daddy, what if that was your grandmother? Sorry, Daddy, what if that was your mother? What if that was grandma? He was like, I'm like, no, seriously, what if that was grandma in another woman's body or something? He said, well, it could be possible that he never saw it that way because he had a lot going on in his head and stuff. But he never said, maybe it was his mother that came to comfort him and let him know that everything was going to be okay. So, that's just it. So yeah, growing up, I was very close to my father. My father did not use me to play at all. Even growing up now, my father doesn't use me to play. He loves me so much. Yeah, he loves everybody equally. He doesn't use any of us to play. But I think at that moment he was still in a moment of grief. So growing up, my dad didn't used to flog me. Beating me was quite of a big deal. Till after, I think the first time my dad flogged me, I think I was 10. The first ever time my dad raised his hand, hit me with cane. Or he raised his hand in any form. I think I was 10 or 8, around 8, 10. That was how old I was then. So, that was my growing up. Growing up, I was very close. Even till now, let me not even say growing up. From growing up till now, I'm very close to my father. and he means the whole world to me, same as my mom. But there's so much of a connection with my dad more than my mom. They say girls are closer to their father, and I think it's a whole different scenario for me and my father. I think we bonded before I was born or something like that. Yeah, so that was it growing up. Growing up, I lived in a neighborhood that had my age grades around. I had people my age. The neighborhood I lived in then seemed like a family because it was a doctor's quarters. Everybody there were equal. There was no form of relegation because everybody was a doctor's child, and being a doctor's child is a big deal up until now. I'm talking of then. Up until now that things are, more people are more educated and stuff. Up until now, being a doctor's child is a big deal. So yeah, that was it. And it was amazing. I met amazing people. I met amazing friends. I met people like Chamako Nora, Chamako Dumuko. I met Divina Odiakosa. I met a lot of people. I met a lot of guys. I grew up with a lot of amazing people. I grew up with currently Dr. Kedi Enwani. I grew up with Dr. Ugochukwu Onodu. I grew up. These people some of them were way older than I was. They were even way older than our first born. But it seemed like a community that loved each other. We loved each other. We played with each other. We went into each other's houses like it was our own house. There were no gate boundaries. It was just flowers that demarcated people's compounds. It was an amazing experience growing up with this number of people and love around. Okay, maybe that was also what, apart from my daddy and my mommy being lovable people and people that love giving, I think it also shaped the way I love people. I love people. Even like right now in my life, a lot of people are hurting me, but I love people so much. So that shaped me. That taught me to like being around people, like being around a community of people. So that was it. Okay, so growing up, I went to Noah group of schools at barracks side. Noah now, the Nigerian Army Women's Association, something. That was where I went for my nursery school, Noah group of schools. I was there for like nursery 1 to 3. Yeah, so I now moved to Command Children's School, and it was a whole lot another different experience because my nursery school was a military school. My primary school too was a military school. It was a whole lot a different experience for me in primary school. I think going to that school was one of the amazing things in my life. I met people from different backgrounds because me living in somewhere where we were literally virtually almost equals. We were equals where I was living before. It was where I was living at the time. It was a doctor's quarter, so everybody was virtually equal, amongst our brain. Then even though that some people's fathers were above others, office rank and levels and stuff like that. But in Command Children's School, I met different people, different backgrounds, people that I know that I was way more privileged than, but we all connected. I met amazing people. I met one of my friends now. She's a dancer. She has almost over, I think, 7K followers on Instagram. I met her in primary school. Favor. She was my best friend then in primary 5. Then in my primary 2, I had a best friend called Wakete Chinechere. She's popularly known as Bella. Because while we were in secondary school, we were not in primary school. I met amazing people in my primary school. Like, I can't even count. Names are not even coming as far, but I met totally amazing people in my primary school. And then when I was in primary school, I always had this in my head that I wouldn't leave primary school without a first position. Like, I can't do that. I couldn't leave primary school without a first position. I think in my primary 1, I got fifth position. I can't even remember my results in other classes, but when I was in primary 5, first term I got second position, and I think I lagged behind second term, and I got fourth position, and my mom was super pissed. She was angry. She said that why will I from second go to fourth and this that. You know how Nigerian parents are, and that the whole thing gingered me to read more, and I came off first position. Funny incident about that first position. I never expected it. It was never a thought in my head that I was going to get first position. I never ever expected it. So then, as of that time I was in primary 5, my little brother was in nursery 1, I be daycare, I be pre-nursery, but he was in one of his classes. He was pretty small, and when they were sharing results, someone came to call me that my small brother was crying, and they've tried, consoling him and making him stop crying, but he didn't stop. He was crying, so I took excuse from my auntie in class then, and I went to go and see my little brother and console him, collected his report card, and I was like, oh, let's go to my class together. Yes? Oh, sorry guys, there, that was my little brother. And I walked into the class and I said, oh, that I wanted to collect my report card. So then in primary school, they call report card from, not really from the least person in class, but they kept first, second, third position aside. Do you understand? And then my friend said that the teacher had not called my name. I said, what's going on? So I went to my teacher. I said, well, I want to collect my report card. And she was like, congratulations. I'm like, what's going on here? He said, oh, that I was first position. The joy was, it was overwhelming. Like, God. And that was the first time I collected a prize, because after that, third term now, we're having speech and prize giving day. And my mom had initially come for the speech and prize, but she left home early, and I was begging her to stay because something in me told me that I was going to win a prize, but I don't know. I was begging her to stay. She was like, she really had something she was going to do. And till they reach primary, they'll start from pre-nursery and then they'll have intermediate, activities for entertainment till we reach primary 5, and they called my name for overall second. I wasn't even in the hall. I was outside, because I think my club then, I was part of those that was supposed to present something. And I was outside the hall, and then they called my name. They called my name like 2 times. I'm like, what's going on? And I went into the hall and I walked up and I took my presents there for overall second in the whole of primary 5. And I was happy. God. I was super happy. And that was it. And I left primary school to secondary school. I joined primary 6. And I left primary school to secondary school. Secondary school, I think, JS1, JS2. In my secondary school, I was kind of perceived as a very rude person, which I was not, because then in my secondary school, I just didn't want to, interact with people just anyhow like that. And I am a very shy person. I don't just easily talk to people that I don't know like that. So I was always, after school, I'm going home. Then if I was part of those, I think when I was in junior class, I was always cleaning the class on Wednesdays. So if I was part of this, I was going to clean the class on Wednesday after school, I sweep the class, I carry my school bag home immediately. Like, there were no negotiations about that. So, but as of my JS3, I became, very familiar with a lot of people. I started talking to quite a number of people, and so I think that my rudeness, that my being perceived as being rude really made me popular. Yeah, and then I was I matured pretty fast. I think I started seeing my cycle at 8. Then I was in primary 4 if I'm not wrong. So at 8 years, so I started maturing pretty fast. I already had boobs and I had bum boobs. I think that was also it. So they were feeling maybe because I had boobs and bum, I felt like I was over the world. But no, that was not it. It was just me not wanting to, or not knowing how to relate to people I don't know so quickly. So that was it. Yeah. And we went through just junior class. I didn't have any relationship or anything. So like just 3. There's this fine boy, I really liked them, but nothing, it didn't really work. It seemed like something was working, but it didn't work. So yeah. So I moved on with my life. Yeah, then there was SS1, choosing classes and everything. I got to enter science class, and then my SS1, that was when I picked interest in playing football. Actually, I've not told you guys before, I play football. And then I joined the female school team, practice. Luckily for me, I was made the captain as of that time. I was made the captain of the team. Then that same SS1, our school was preparing for an inter-command game. Oh, sorry, I didn't tell you guys. My secondary school was Commanded Secondary School in Enugu. So we're preparing for an inter-command games. It's a game for all the command schools in Nigeria to come together and compete. So we're preparing for that. I was picked as one of those that are going to go to represent the school for the sports game, for the football game. We went there. That story was a whole different story because there was a whole lot of complications and all. We went, we didn't win anything as a team, but it was a 1 week of amazing experience. I met a lot of amazing people there. It was easier for me to now connect with some of our seniors that went with us because we are all in one dorm, just girls. Girls were in one dorm and guys were in different dormitory, and we connected. It was fun, and then we came back. We went 2 weeks before the exam. We stayed there for a week, and we came back a week before the exam started. Yeah, so 1 week, a lot of has been covered in a week. A lot of revisions has been done. The 1 week that I even came back, teachers even stopped coming. There were not much number of teachers coming to classes again. So we were like, I wouldn't really say I was lost because I was reading when I was over there. We took our exams and boom, I got first position in mathematics. Oh no, duh. I got first position in mathematics. But funny thing, I don't know why everybody then, people from primary school, most especially in secondary school, when they give people results, they're first checking their maths and their English before they start checking anything. But me going back to some of my results, even in junior class, and I look at them, and then I realized that there was a time I scored first position in some subject that I never even noticed I scored first position, or second position, or third. I think it was the time I scored third position in agriculture. I never noticed I scored third position. So just one random time I was just going through my secondary school results. Okay, so that was it, and then SS2, I took JAMB and WAEC, because that's like a principle in my house to take JAMB and WAEC. Okay, so in secondary school I met amazing friends. Like, I can't even start counting them, they are uncountable. But I had a clique then in secondary school. It was myself, a friend of mine, Chioma, another friend of mine that was my mistake, Norma, and one other of my friend, Chinaza. But right now it's just the other three. Chinaza, I don't know, she stopped talking to us. Maybe she felt she was bigger than us, I don't know, or maybe she felt her life is better than our own. I can't tell. Let me not say something that puts me in trouble in front of the camera. So yeah, and that was it. SS2, I took JAMB and WAEC. Glory be to God, I scaled through, but getting into school was difficult because I waited for my name to maybe appear in one of the lists, and it didn't. And I started going back to school again because my parents was like, if it doesn't work this time, this is just a tryout. If it doesn't work, you go back to school, write WAEC again in my school, because where I wrote WAEC then was not in my school, because you can't write necessarily in my school. So I went to centers, all these WAEC centers. to write my WAEC then. And I started going back to school again. There were a whole lot of side talks, and she wanted to go, off secondary school from school. And let's see how far she can go. And she's back now, and all of us we are still wearing uniform and going to school. But if you saw me then in my SS3, when I was going to school in SS3, I was looking, you could see even the way I dressed, like I'm not prepared for this, like because in my head I was already, I can't do this, I can't come back here. The side thoughts, the murmuring, they became so too much. So I just dressed anyhow every morning I went to school. You get, but I prayed and God, my life with God, I have a very strong Christian life. I pray so much, and I believe all the time that whenever I'm in trouble, the only best solution is God. He can then send the helper, but I would always talk to him first. I cried every day and I talked to God. So I can remember the day I got admission. I can remember that day like it was yesterday. So I was cooking in the kitchen, and I think I went to my brother's room to just like gist with him and play. And then someone called him and said, "Oh, she got admission to my school, blah 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 blah." And then my brother was like supplementary list was out. I think that was the final list that was out, and she was like supplementary list was out. And that was the last list before VC's list. The last supplementary list before VC's list. And he said, let him check my name. My whole mood had already changed. I left the room and I went to the kitchen. I started praying, God please, do this for me, please. And my brother screamed. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And he said, I got admission. Okay, no, that was not the first time I got admission. I initially got admission in merit list, but I got admission for, I think, agric science. I'm like, what's that? That I don't even know anything in agric. I would have said, oh, if it was something I was familiar with, I would have said, oh, let me go and then do change of course. But I didn't know shite in agriculture. I wasn't even a fan. So I did. And my brother screamed, and he was like, it was the cause, it was everything, that I've gotten admission. I was so happy. My brother was already calling me a lioness. I was so happy about that. And then I called my mom, because my mom and my dad had already traveled to the village. I called my mom. I was screaming, I was shouting. I said, Mommy, I got admission. My name is finally out. My mom said, my mom was very happy. I already told her, Mommy, on Monday, before this whole sit at home rubbish started in Enugu. Then Mondays we were active. They said, Mommy, when you guys come back, I think they were coming back that Sunday, but in the evening. So Mommy, when you guys come back, on Monday, we're going to Suka, we're going to go and start registration. I heard school has started. Gang. I was excited. Whoa, I was excited. Oh, so you guys can also share your excitement about your admission in the comment section. I was just overly excited. And we went on the Monday, did the registration, gang, blah. We got admission, went to school in first year. I had a roommate in first year. It wasn't always a bed of roses with her, because she was someone I didn't know, and was introduced to me by a friend. That one now, another story, sharp. You get, but 1 year passed, we parted ways, we came down to UNEC, I started coming to school from my house, but my house was in Enugu, and with time, second semester passed, I was preparing for MBBS exam I took, so I went to school, and I started living in school, in the hostel, wrote MBBS, passed, and those things. That was it till now. So this is just like a run over of how I grew up. There was nothing differently special about. No, my growing up was special, but I didn't just want to go into so much details, and it would take so much time, and yeah. So that was my growing up and everything. Growing up was exciting. Growing up was fun. I met amazing people like growing up and stuff like that. Okay, I didn't say it. So when I was in JS3, during that holiday period, after junior year, we moved. We stopped living at Obe from there. My father had built his own house. So we now moved from there to our house where I live now in Tinkaskana. So I'm doing this video from my house. Tinkaskana. So I'm doing this video from there. So where we live currently, that is where when we moved. I moved when we were in JS3. We were about to enter SS. When I was about to enter SS1, that was when we moved to this place. So I think we've lived there for over 7 years, if I'm not wrong. But 7 or 8 years. We've lived there for over 7 or 8 years. So yeah, that was it. So that was my whole growing up and all. So I had a very little bit fun growing up, and all the adventures we went to. Okay, yeah, I can remember when I was in JS1 or JS2, we went to Obudu Cattle Ranch, like on a family vacation. That would be a different video. I'll talk about our vacation, first ever family vacation as a family. Went to Obudu Cattle Ranch. We had fun. That was all that. And I'm here now, telling you guys the story of how I got here. So here I am, beauty. So this was how this beauty grew up to be this beauty. Okay, that'll be it. Bye. I don't want this video to be too long. It will get super boring. So guys, thank you for watching. Ow. Thank you for watching my videos. Love you guys. Okay, bye. Bye already. Stop staring. Okay, bye. Subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. Because if you don't, who will? You will though. Okay, bye. Love you.